weeks. Do you ever think about? 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 Do you ever think about?
because this is no longer a charity stream. We can remove this. We can switch our game. Capture. We are playing Cozy Grove because I got it through the stream sale. And I think it's super cute and cozy and fun. And so I said, hey, it's my day off. We did the adulting things. I didn't get groceries, but we're gonna do that tomorrow. I did all the things. We'll just leave it at that. I did all the things, so now we get to just chill and be cozy and have a stream. And I'm just stalling right now because I need to see if I can get my stream manager up on my tablet. But I might have had my tablet sitting here for too long without charging, so it might be dead. Might be dead. Okay, we're just gonna get chat up on good old phone then. Stream manager. And then I think we got all the things. And then I think we got all the things that we need. Cool. We got a chat, we got an activity feed, we got a stream that is live. Cool. It looks like the microphone's good, the desktop audio's in the green, so we're all good. And this has like a nice little cozy soundtrack to it. Okay, so here we are. Here we are. I have to find the bird this specific thing to feed it. That's what I learned when I was offline. So we have awakened the ghost. We are a little spirit scout camper. Which is really super cool, and we talk to the ghosties and we get them what they need and we help them remember things, and I think so like they can like go off and live peacefully or whatever, like in the afterlife. That's what I get so far. So it's kind of like, to me, like a Animal Crossing-esque with ghost bears. That's what I'm getting so far. So this is the ranger. They pretty much tell us everything. Listen, out here your most important resource won't be your eagle eyes. The thing that will help you most in the Phantom Wild is patience. Yep. Oh yeah, we're drinking tea. We got them their teacup yesterday. We found it. So today, I'm listening for chickadees. There used to be one in this birdhouse here, but he sang his last dee-dee-dee ages ago. Maybe if you're patient like me, you can find this house a new home. Okay, so we got our ranger and he gave us a task. We got this is our little book here of tasks. Right now we're supposed to buy the sea captain sweater from Mr. Kit's store, but when I went there before, it wasn't in the store, so that was rude. And then we gotta feed our fire. The fire's always hungry for some spirit logs. And look, we earned a badge. We get scout badges. That's pretty nifty. We are punctuality beginner. Plan multiple days. Yeah, because we just started yesterday, and here we are back again today. So awesome. So we've got a shovel that we can dig up a little dirt. That's where we got these coins from. We can fish. This is a bird, a spirit of a bird, which I think we can put out in our camp and feed it also. Hold on. Drop. I thought you were supposed to turn into an actual bird now. Oh no, that's spirit bird essence. Never mind. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that yet. But I saw a hole. I saw something where I could dig. Oh, this rock. This rock said I could mine it. We also have a pickaxe. They call it harvesting, not mining. But that's alright. Here we go. We collect some iron ore. That's new. That's new for us. We just made our pickaxe. We've got a little workshop buddy over here. So let's take a little mini tour. Oh, but first, not squirrel, but fish. Same idea. we're gonna fish. We're gonna go. This is confusing me a little bit. I don't know exactly how to aim, but here, we'll go there. And then we wait for it to tug tight. Yeah, it's kind of Animal Crossing-esque with the fishing too. I got an ugly loach. Yeah, that was kind of ugly. And you got the backpacks, which, you know, is always the grind. You gotta get more space for your backpack. But so far, I got some spaces left. I got some spaces and I got some handy things. Okay, so, and there's one more fish, so let's do that. Then we'll do our little walking tour. Fish. So we grab this and we pull back, and then we angle it. There. Oh, that went way further than I thought it was going to. That's okay. The fish came and got it. These fish are smart. They know where the fishing bait is. Easy fishing. Oh, I caught paper. A bath bucket crafting recipe. Okay, so let's go learn the recipe. Again, recipes seem familiar. We can make a wooden bath bucket. Now we can go to the Maker Bear. Okay, cool. So somebody needs our attention. Hello. What are you? Oh, you're telling me I could find something here? Is that what that was? We're gonna put away. We've got some hardwood. Oh, hello, sir. Ranger. Nope, not ranger. That was misleading. Oh, I was just thinking. Okay, maybe the ranger does need us. Charlotte Pine. Listen up, camper. Anything that can be measured can be controlled. That's why I keep extensive logs of everything that appears on the island. Well, almost everything. Anyway, when you get stuck trying to find something hidden, I always take pleasure in helping you track it down. The determined look on your face when you set out with your little hint. Adorable. Cute. Okay, attention. Who wants our attention? Okay, so here's our little workshop I was telling you about. Hey, this is supposed to be colored. Why isn't it colored? So like when we wake up the ghosties and we do their little missions, their world goes from this like sepia, is that the word? To like colorful. But this was colorful when I played yesterday. So we either can help them, and then they usually give us the logs to feed the fire. Or we can make something over here. Ding ding. That sounds like it's gonna cost me some money or something. I don't know. Wooden bath bucket. Oh, so here I need that spirit bird entrance. I need 4 more. So we're gonna put that for later. I think when the full circle is colored in green, that means I can make it. So we can make a fence. I don't need a fence. A chair. A table. Can I make a chair or a table? What does this mean? Oh, this is just materials, I think. Let's make a chair. We might want to sit down on a chair. Hi, bye. Have a good day at work. Hopefully it's slow and, you know, the animals are in good shape. Sounds great. Here are the materials. Okay. So we're gonna make a chair. Man, that was quick. We got a chair. Can I help you with something? So, Maker Buddy, have you been using that crafting bench I loaned you? Crafting bench? What crafting? I mean, I kind of remember this, but I don't know where it is or how to use it. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. I guess I need to explain that one a bit more, huh? Anytime you like, you can just talk to me to access the crafting bench. Of course, you'll need plenty of raw materials to make more things, so I'm going to leave you with one more tool. It's a little advanced for a kid your age. It requires some metal working. Find me some iron ore and some hardwood, and I can get it started. So I think by burning any iron ore with flamey. So flamey is also like my melting pot dude. Okay, back to the beginning. I don't know how to make bread. Okay, flamey is confusing because instead of cooking, it just says I want to burn something, which sounds a little bit disturbing when you think about it, but okay. I want to burn something. I want to burn iron ore. Let's burn it all. Use my flame to burn all that into 3 roasted root vegetables and 6 iron. Oh, I was still. No thanks. I didn't mean to keep having the potato. Okay. Burn. Sounds great. Here you go. Let's burn. Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. So we have some iron ingots and some hardwood. Okay, so we were doing a tour though. But before we do the tour, like I would really like to know how to make this birdie a bagel. Excuse me, sir. Do I know how to make a bagel? If I burn this, it will give me roasted root vegetables, which I already have. If I burn this, more roasted root vegetables. How do I make a bagel? I need a bagel. This bird needs a bagel. How about I put my chair out? Should I put my chair? Place it here. Hello. My bird likes rustic decor, by the way. By the way, my bird likes rustic decor. It makes my bird happy. Look at all that happiness. Oh, look at it. Now it's just like spitting out the rocks. Thank you. I would also love to feed you, but we're gonna move the chair here. And then we're gonna move this table like here, like a little side table. Cool. We got a little cozy space. Okay. Cool. We're figuring it out. Okay. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to my camp. I have a tent, which is really just like a bedroll on the ground and this half awning here. I have a chair, I have a table, and a front bird. And honestly, I don't know what this is. This my stuffed animal? No, this is my small sculpture. I forgot I even had that. This is a small little sculpture. Very quaint. Okay. So this is where we came in from. This is our little boat landing, but our boat went bye-bye. So we're stuck here. Then we have, if you walk across the little beach here, on this side of the beach is the sailor. I don't know if it's a penguin or not penguin, a pelican or a bear or bear pelican. I don't know how that works, but that's our buddy there. What did we earn here? Oh, decorator beginner. We collect another badge. We're a good little scout. Look at all these badges we have. And then when we get badges, we get money. So this is the birdies part of the island, and then there's just some stuff back here that's not colored yet. This isn't colored either right now. Is that maybe because it's raining? I don't know how that works. And then here we're back at the maker. We visited the workshop. So then behind the workshop, let's go to the left because this guy needs some help. This bear needs some help. This is Francesca Duclaw. How can we help? Hello, spirit friend. You're just the fauna I wanted to see. One of my favorite trees has gone missing. That's terrible. The poor thing is always getting lost. It's one of my special trees. Small, square-shaped, rootless, lots of white leaves inside. If you come across a tree matching that description, be sure to send it my way. Okay, so this is our friend Francesca. I forgot Francesca's story already. Like each of these bears seems to have like a little like background. Like there was the maker, and there was the ranger, and the sea captain. Oh, this bear can dye things for me. I haven't done that yet. But nah, nothing for me today. So that's this bear. That's Francesca. And then over here, this is Kit. Kit is not a bear. Kit is a fox. Kit has a store. We'll see if the store has the sweater I need. I want to buy clothes. Here we go. This is the one we need. Sea Captain sweater. Yay! Sounds great. Take my money. Would you like to wear this? No, it's not for me. It's for a friend. For a friend. But is there something I want to wear? What? It's an army cap, fancy jacket, scarf. Oh, jeez, I don't need all the things. I need glasses, a different hat, a mustache. Do I want to be a mustache and a fancy jacket? I am a fancy man. No, I don't want to do that voice today. We could be Little Red Riding Hood. What's this? Orange? Purple? Purple. Silk shawl. A grandmother bought the silk shawl for a small child who would grow into it one day. Second hand. Look at me just grooving. Ooh, knocking over my stand there. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay. I kind of vibe with that, but otherwise, a pilot flight jacket. That feels so cool. Do we want to be cool or do we want to be cozy? I think I'm a little partial to purple. Okay, so here we go. Yes, take my money. Would you like? Yes, I would like to wear this one. Okay. Flamey can get my clothes out. Flamey does a lot of things. Okay, so that's this. I don't remember seeing this rock when I played before, but look at how it has like 3 faces in it. That's interesting. That's interesting. Then we got our postman. So back here is the mail bear. Hi, mail bear. Oh, I dug in some grass first. Now we'll talk to the mail bear. Let's check our mailbox. Do we have any mail? We do, and it has gifts. I took the liberty of ordering some food for the young bird. Yay! Bagel for the bird. That's how we get a bagel for the bird. We check our mail. Obvious. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Okay, so we want to get all our presents, and then we're reading this message. I'm surprised I haven't heard back. Is everything okay? You've got your flame guide, right? Your aunts told me old Flamey has been in your family since before the last big purge. Keep feeding Flamey, and they'll help you locate all the restless souls lost in the dark corners of that island. Scoutmaster Blake. Okay, we got that message. We got some bird food. Yay. Okay, how can we help you? Hey there, postal pal. Beautiful day as always. Got a little bit of a non-standard mission for you today. My girl Ophi took my earmuffs on her walk yesterday. She didn't bring them back. Think you could track them down for me? Okay, so we gotta find some earmuffs. We gotta feed our birdie. We gotta finish our tour. Here's a little dumpster. Interesting, interesting. So one thing I noticed the first time I played yesterday is that a lot of times the little hints will talk about what you see on the island. So I gotta remember like what things. Like you saw this on a pole, or this is next to the bird's nest, or da 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 da. I need a silver shovel or better. Okay, but I can dig this hole. This hole. This game is actually a lot easier to see on my desktop computer than it was on my laptop. I don't know if that's a me thing or a game thing. Okay, so we did Postman. We already saw Kit. So then this is the back half of the island. I don't think we've unlocked anybody over here. We haven't found any spirits over here yet. It's just kind of grass and trees and rocks. And these little spirits, which normally just run away from me, I don't exactly understand how to engage with them yet. And then there's little boogies. Okay, so we made our tour. We have tasks to do. We've got to keep our eyes out for the earmuffs. Small square. Oh, we gotta look for that tree with white leaves inside. Okay. Oh, we have everything we need for the That's why it's green. Green circle. I remember this now. So, Jeremy the maker, we can bring him his stuff. And then we need more essence, which we're going to get by feeding the bird. Cool. Okay, so I gotta go here in my backpack. And I say, you want a bagel. Yeah. Oh, speed. Speed, have a bagel. Yay! Give me all the things. Oh, essence and eggs. And I want to pick up this. Oh no, are you eating this bit? I'm so confused. Okay, you're eating the bagel. Can I feed you more bagel, or are you a pet? Oh, look at it, the little snail dude. It came in color because he came inside my camp. Awesome, awesome. I still need one more snail essence though, or not snail essence. I saw a snail. It got me confused. We need one more of this birdie essence so I can make a bathtub. I forgot what else. What else does the birdie like? Decoration, lamp, rustic decor. Ooh, I think I have a lamp. I think I have a lamp. Let's give the bird a lamp. It'll make the bird happy, and then the birdie will poop out stuff that I need. Oh, I don't want to just hold it in my hand. Silly. Oh no, place it. There we go. We got light. And actually, if we're smart, we can move this light specifically so it extends the color. Oh, no, it doesn't work there. Okay. Move. It has to be in the light to extend the light. Okay, gotcha. Now my bird's super happy. Look at it. It's got almost 3 full hearts. And we made this tree colorful. Okay. So, let's go see Jeremy. We got enough stuff for Jeremy. We can go to the maker. Let's make our thing. Make me the thing. Sir, make me the thing. Yep. Yes. Okay, make it. Perfect. Now let me just give that a quick smelt. And now you have your very own machete. I hope it's okay giving you something so sharp and half your size. It's not okay, is it? Well, too late now. Enjoy your chopping powers. I know you're a trained scout, but please be careful with the sharp side, okay? The last thing I need is another ghost on my conscience. You discovered one of Jeremy Ruffles' memories. Oh, wow. That he's responsible for death? Oh, now it's colorful again. Lovely. Okay. Glad I could help you remember that you were responsible for somebody's death. Oh, there's a book here. Hello? This is probably important. Oh, my backpack is full. I knew this was going to happen to me. I always get you with the backpack. Oh, what do we want to do? What do I want to do with the backpack? We've got so much food. Do I eat the food? Do I need to eat food? Do I eat food? I don't feel like I've had to eat food. I haven't figured that out yet. What's this? This is a stuffed scout. Let's just hold that in my hand. Well, nope, that doesn't really free up space, does it? Does it? No. I think we gotta go put some more stuff out. Oh, we have another lamp. Yeah. So let's find a spot where we want to extend our light. How about let's put our lamp right here. Place here. Sure. And then let's go over back to headquarters. Oh, we gotta go out of here. Let's go back to headquarters. Oh, Bernie. Are you ready to poop out any more, stuff for me? And in camp, what is this? A common log cabin antique. Okay, sure. Let's put that out and let's actually move it. I think that's a good oh, I want it to be fully colored. Let's move it into discolored space. Hello? Let me move it. right. Let's actually right here. I like that spot. Okay. We got it. Oh yeah, we got the t-shirt. The t-shirt goes back to our buddy on the beach. So let's go give the t-shirt to our buddy on the beach. I like that music. Should we fish? Should we fish while we're here? There's lots of fish out. Fishy, 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 fishy. Where's my fishing pole? Hello? Fishing pole? Yeah. Hold the fishing pole. Catch. Oh, hello. Oh, right here. Right here. Fishing pole. Nope. Fishing pole. I got it. Okay. Can I catch this clam that way? Maybe not. I don't know. But I'll catch this fish. Got him. Ooh, a leather skin. Okay, okay, okay. How do I get this guy? How do I get this clam? How do I get the clam? Do I need a net? I probably need something I don't have yet. Okay. There we go. I'm getting better at this aiming thing for the fish. It's a little awkward of a mechanic, but it's not too bad. Too bad. Oh yeah. Why am I catching a bunch more stuff though? Like, that was my problem. I had too much stuff. Too much stuff, and I had to expand my backpack. Okay, hello. Hello. I have your shirt. Here's your shirt. So the rumors were true. If that fox sells wares as fine as these, I'll permit him to haunt the dry docks for now. Yes, indeed, the chill's fainting already. This is a wing warmer of the finest quality. I think I'll add it to my cabinet of the mind. What is that? Why, every explorer worth their salt has a cabinet of the mind. Though some of the less lyrical among them might call it an item collection. Squawk. It's an imaginary box I use to track the doodads, whelps, and gollywops I've come across in my travels. And you have the idea, you can easily imagine an item collection of your own. Once you have the idea... Oh, right. Is this item collection even real? No, I'm gonna go along. I'm imagining it. Ah, I see it's taking shape. Anything you'd like to donate? I mean, I don't know what to do with all these. Let's split, because I don't want to give you 50. Wait, maybe I can't. I'll give you a potato. Okay, I'll give you a potato. So many new specimens. Shall we add them to the collection? Sounds great. Here you go. Sure. I'll archive this right away. Book of Secrets. Okay. Get present. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Oh. So it's like a yeah, you try to find all the things. Gotta catch them all. That kind of thing. That kind of thing. Okay. And here's a pond. It kept telling me there was something by a pond before. Hello? Money. I'm gonna pick up this coin. And then there's a coin over here. It's kind of weird how the world gets kind of like translucent, transparency, and I can almost like walk through it at times. Okay, so we have missions. We're still looking for these headphones. Look by a tarp. It'll probably be under a leaf pile by a tarp. Okay. And then, yeah, we have no idea where that is. And we need one more essence. And I don't know how to make the bird about the essence. Okay. Tarp. So, does this guy have any tarps? I don't think where's tarp? Maybe? Is that a tarp? But is there a leaf pile next to that? No, that's a mossy rock. That's not a leaf pile. Okay. I do not think our headphones are at the beach. Okay. Onward we shall go. Looking for a tarp. We're looking for a tarp or a little white tree. Oh, there's a hole we can dig in. Let's see what we can find in this hole. We got some potatoes. This, we can't put it away because everything's full. Okay. Tarp with a leaf pile. Well, here's a leaf pile. I don't see a tarp, but we'll look at these leaves anyways. Nope. Yeah, there's earmuffs. Oh, but we have a full backpack. Okay. What are we gonna drop? Oh, we should just go feed the spirit log to the fire. Okay, give me 1 sec. 1 sec. Gonna feed the log to the fire. Hello, fire. Here's a log for you.
More. Only 4 more logs until I'm full. I sense someone has a log they're eager to give you, if you can help them.
Don't expect me. I'm kind of just randomly deciding these sounds. So, upgrade my put stuff in my storage. 12. Oh, okay. So I can store stuff in my tent. Okay. That's cool. Can I put like the whole pile of rocks? Awesome. Okay, and we'll put some of this food in here because I still don't know what to do with it. Yeah, I don't know how to eat it or anything. Put in storage. We have an extra chair. We could put it in storage, but I mean, I could also just set it out. What is this? What is this? 2 scalpel pages. Important to someone. Okay, well, we'll hang it with it. What is this? Potted iris. Low-growing plant that produces iris flowers. Mr. Kit loves... Oh, we should just put this out and start growing those. Okay, so no, we don't want to do that. Sell coins. Donate to collections for a reward. We need a pickaxe. Okay, I think that's all we want to put in storage for right now. I think we're going to put a few things out in camp yet. So we want to put out our other chair. Where's our other chair? Chair. We'll put our stuffed animal place here. Next to the fire. Yep. Oh, look at it. We got our other stone. Yay. We can go do the thing. We can make something. We can make a bathtub. Okay, what else? There was something else that I wanted to put out here, I thought. What is this? Oh, yes. We're going to place the potted iris so we can grow stuff to give to Kit. Okay, so we're going to take our dolly and move it on this side of the fire. Can I rotate it? Rotate was an option, yes. Okay, yes, I like that. And then we're going to take this pot and we're going to move it like back at this corner, and then we're gonna harvest. Yay! Cool. We got another badge. Look at us go, earning badges. Animal caring tier 1 beginner. Let's get some money for taking care of a bird. Once we figured out how to feed it, is the bird hungry still? Or is that bagel like a day's worth of food? It's still munching on the bagels, so I think we're good. Okay, so let's go make our bathtub. Hold on, sorry. So we need to use crafting bench, which we just gotta talk to this dude. I think that's just what we do. I want to craft something. And we want to make this bath. Craft. Cool. Crafted. Yay, we have a bath bucket. I'm gonna go here just so I can unpin it. Oh, I guess that didn't really matter. Oh yeah, I pinned it over there. Okay, in case I was looking for something. That's a fence. I already made a stuffed scout. We already had. Oh, that's a dining table. We should make that. We need a place to sit down and eat. Maybe that's why we haven't eaten any food, because we don't have a dining table to eat at. Oh, this guy isn't very happy. He's not even got one full heart. I wonder how we make him happier. Let's see if we can help him. Hey, maker buddy. You know, the other day I heard two carpenters in that age-old debate. Phillips or Flathead? Me? Well, I hate to make someone else on a project use a screwdriver they don't like. It's like I can feel their displeasure with every twist of the screw. So I'm happy to use either. Okay. Okie doke. We'll come back here. We'll come back here. We have a little bathtub. And then what else are we gonna get out? We got one more thing, right? Right? Did we get something else to put out at the camp? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that was it. Okay. Let's move right there. Okay. Look at us. Oh yeah, we were making. Oh yeah, we made a whole big dining table. Where'd that go? Where'd that go? Excuse me, sir. I asked you to make me a dining table. Here it is. Okay. I think I want to rotate this table. Rotate it this way. Oh, and we're gonna move it right there, so we can have some room for some chairs. And then hello, we have some storage. I would like to get stuff out of storage. Thank you. I would like this chair. Thank you. And then I can flip this chair. Bam. And then there's a chair. We move the chair. We put it right. And then we go rotate it. That's the wrong way. It's got to face the table. Thank you. Now can I sit in the chair? No. I can't sit in the chair. What's the point of having a chair and a table if I can't actually, like, engage with it? We'll move it. Can I move it closer to the table? Like, here? Yeah, cool. Now it looks like it belongs. Now sit again. Now sit again. Artisan beginner. Cool. We got gemstones. We got gemstones. We got money. We have headphones. Who are we giving those to? We're giving them to the postman. Oh, Mr. Postman. Do you have a letter for me? Hey, Mr. Postman. Do you have a letter for me? Yeah, that was question marks. About that, where's your tree? If you're really stuck, go to shop. Yeah. Okay. I haven't really been looking, let's be honest. So we're gonna drop off our little, we are gonna drop off the headphones, and then we are gonna go looking for this tree. Short, square, white leaves. Yay, we found them. What better way to block out the screams coming from unopened mail, right? Okay. Yay, we got spirit wood. It makes everything colored again. So apparently the color doesn't last. That's the thing. The color comes out, but then it fades unless you keep helping them. That's what seems to happen here. Okay, but we haven't helped them because we haven't found their tree. That's why they're not colorful. We're not asking you for another mission because I still have to help. I have to help them with their mission. Francesca, we gotta help Francesca find her tree. Francesca's tree. Where are you? You. Small square tree. Small square. What is this thing? That looks kind of freaky. Oh, that's what I need my machete for. Aha! Now I have mixed greens. I can make some salad. Oh, and I shovel that up. Okay. Hello. Small square Rootless tree. Small square. Oh, here. It's something I can chop with my machete. Chop, chop, chop. Huzzah. I got coins with that one too. Have we seen a short square tree with white leaves underneath? Haven't seen it yet, I don't think. Rootless, square, white leaves underneath. I don't think there's any trees on the beach. So we'll go look over here. Hello. Do any of these trees match the description? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. No. No, not this. Short, square. Oh, good. I did pick up the book. Thank you. Oh yeah, because my hands are pockets. My backpack was full. That's the backpack conundrum. Always a problem with backpack. Oh, grass pile. Oh, look at all the good stuff I found in there. Okay, do we see a small, square, rootless tree with... Oh wait, hey! Hey, you're green. You're green. I found the tree. I found a book. Are you serious? It wasn't a tree at all, it was a book? It wasn't a tree, it was a book. Sir, this is a book. This is not a tree. There you are, Kafka. Kafka, here's a very special tree. She used to look different. Taller trunk, wider branches. But change is unavoidable. Kafka knows that well. Don't you, girl? Now for French to Russian, I don't know where that came from. Don't ask me. Kafka's a bit of an introvert. Anyway, we embrace change here in my woods. In fact, if you bring me an item, I may be able to change it for you. I call it recycling. Cycling back into something new and vital. Try it out sometime. Yay! Now this part of the world will get colorful again. And I'll get monies. Cool. Import gemstone. Let's go collect the little monies. I like it. I like it. That was very confusing. I had no idea she meant that was a book. That's probably why they call this a puzzle game. I see. Why do you guys all run away from me? Hey friend. Hey friend. I really am. Okay, we can harvest this tree. Get some citrines and some branches. Okay. Citron. Postman. What can I do for you, postman? Hey there, Stamp Champ. I'm glad you stopped by. Have you noticed any imps running around with a bubble over their head? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. They will run away from me every time. I applaud your keen observation. Those are hungry imps. They are crying out for something to eat. But imps are very picky. They'll only eat a specific item they are craving. If you feed it to them, they'll happily give you something in return. I mention this because one of those hungry imps made off with a letter of mine. I was hoping you could get it back for me. So would you like me to tell you the secret to feeding hungry imps? Yes, please. Hungry imps are craving a particular item to eat. They'll show you what they crave with a bubble over their head. Don't just walk up to a hungry imp. They will get scared and vanish. Keep your distance so the imp is comfortable. You'll need to throw the item they crave to them. Hold the item in your hand and drag back the item to aim, then release to throw. Like fishing. If the item lands near the imp, they should eat it. If you miss, don't worry, you can pick it up and try again. After the hungry imp eats the item, they will show their happiness with a heart. You can tap a happy imp to approach, and they'll give you something as thanks. Yay, they won't run away from me. Come back when you've gotten my letter back from that hungry imp. Okay, cool. Cool. That reminds me of an anime. I forget which one. But they're like, cool. Somebody says that in some anime. Oh, here's the one, the stick with 2 skulls. That's come up in a clue before. Oh, here's the hole that looks like a butthole that I can dig. Yay! Oh, like here's this one. Do I have one of those? I think I have one of those. What is that? Is that just a potato? Is that a potato that you want? Or, nope. Oh, there's something different. Okay. Oh, wait, it's this thing. Sweet potatoes. Okay, so I gotta walk over here. Not too close. Let it be a friend. Then we pull this back. And we eat. Here, buddy. Do you want a sweet potato? Hi. Thank you. I made a friend with the imp. This one wants a mushroom. Hello. Let's put, oh, this full backpack. Golly. Can I just swap the, I thought I had mushrooms. I must have mushrooms. There's mushrooms. Hold up hand. Okay. Stay very still. Hello. I'm gonna throw this mushroom at you. If you want it, just stay there. I don't know how to aim. Is that good? Will you come get it? Are you happy? Where's your heart? Where'd it go? Okay, maybe I'll go over here. Oh, no. Oh, here. There he's happy. Happy imp. Hi, imp. Okay. I got it. Oh, full backpack. The backpack conundrum. Okay, there's somewhere. Is it? Does Kit sell me more backpack space? Hello, Kit. Can I have more backpack space, please? Please, I want to carry all the things. I want to buy something. I want to buy backpack space. No backpack space. Can I get it from the ranger? Hello, ranger. Can you give me more backpack space? Hello. Would you like a hug? Oh. Here, review the hug. Oh. I really wanted more backpack space, but okay. Excuse me, fire. Hello, fire. Here's a log.
Only 3 more logs before I'm full. That's at least 2 logs out there. Maybe close, maybe far.
Okay, put stuff in my storage. I mean, I could do that, but like, how do I make my backpack bigger? Because this is only temporarily helpful. Oh, I forgot to change. We're not doing the donation anymore. So let's turn that timer off. Hello, timers. Turned off. Okay, cool. No, don't exit up. Just turn off the timer. Alrighty. Okay, what do we want to leave behind? Oh, you got another log. Let's feed you the other log. Hello, here's a log for you. Thank you.
Delicious. Only 2 more logs before I'm full. I sense someone has a log they're eager to give you if you can help them.
Yeah, that's how this game works. Thank you. I figured that much out. Oh wait. Okay. What do we got? What's this thing? Joyous Imp Essence. Cool. Used in cooking spirit animal food. Also for crafting beneficial decorations. Okay, cool. There's another lamp. We could go put the lamp out somewhere. What was I supposed to do with this birdhouse? This object is important to someone, but they may not be able to receive it yet. Okay. apple, golden apple. A tree. Okay. Let's plant our tree. Boop, boop, boop. And I want to move this tree to the edge of the color. Hello, tree. Hello, tree. Tree. Move. Tree. Here. Now harvest from tree. Cool. We got another badge. We got another badge. Huzzah. We're a beginning arboriculturist. Arboriculturist. It's a word. That's a word. How many? Okay. What happened here? Is our flower sad? No, it's not ready to harvest. Okay. Wait. It likes, what is it like? Potted flower plant, lamp, cozy decor. Dislikes rust. Oh, you don't want to be by those, all this rustic stuff then, huh? Okay, so let's move this. Let's move this. The birdie likes this. So we'll keep it over by the birdie. And then we'll move you. Hello. Click, click. Move over here. Are you happier? Okay. So what do you like? You like potted flower plant, lamp, and cozy decor. So we need cozy decor. Do I have any cozy decor? What's this? Potted dahlia. Likes potted flower plant, lamp. So they want to be buddies. They want to be buddies. Let's hang out here. Okay, cool. Got it. Got it. They're happy to be next to each other. Sweet. It's a little too close. A little too close. We'll put it right there. Okay. Cool. Cool. Let's harvest. Nice. Okay. Okay. What else we got? We got some cozy decor. So it looks like the decor comes in a lamp. A lamp. Yes. Let's give them a nice cozy lamp. They like that. They like that. We're making them happy. We're making them happy. I feel like I wanna, this isn't quite the right spot for it. Can I put it here? Oh. Nope, that's not what I wanted to move. We'll move that back here for a second. And then we want to move the lamp. I move the lamp here. It's still, yep. And then I want to move this plant, move it like here. Okay, so we got, these plants are happy. They got a lamp, they got another plant next to them. What else do they like? What else do you like? Cozy decor. Cozy decor. What's this? 2 black, oh yeah, those are what I just picked. Is this a cozy decor? No. So let's go see what we can make for cozy decor. Oh, no, don't run. Sorry, I'm sorry, I came too fast. I came too close. I didn't mean to do it. Certainly. Okay, thanks for the hug. Mushroom. Hold the mushroom in my hand. Throw it to the buddy. They're very picky though. I don't think they only want this mushroom. Can we pull it back? Hello? Hello? Where's my little... Oh yeah, I gotta close this. Okay. This way. Oh! Yay! Oh yeah, we made it happy! We made it happy! Happy little imp. Thank you! Okay, we'll put that away. We'll check our badge. This game is so heckin' cute. I'm so glad we got to make friends with the imps. I was so sad when they just ran away from me. Okay. They're saying I can axe something. Hello? Where? What? What am I axing? Sure. Boop, boop, boop. rock and roll beginner. Another badge. We are just on a roll with our badges. So cute. So cute. There's so many different things to do. There's so many different things to do. Okay, but we're on our way to find cozy decor. Cozy decor? Did we say cozy decor? We need cozy. I feel like I'm saying that wrong now, but it's fine. Cozy decor. I don't have a place to put cozy decor. Shoot. Because all my slots are full. But I need to make cozy decor. Because that's what my plants want. Hello? Hello, Mr. Maker Bear? Jeremy? I would like to craft something. I would like some cozy decor. The plants like this. I think that's what that says. Is this saying the plants like it? This is decoration. Fun decor. Common. Scout. Rustic? No, they definitely don't like that. They don't like that. So that's not what that means. That looked like a leaf to me, but maybe it just means I can craft it. It's craftable. It's green and it's craftable. Okay. So this is uncommon, natural decor, hot spring. Hello, Rage. Thank you for coming in and collecting your mom hug. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I am having a really fun time with this cute little game. I got it on the Steam Spring Sale. It was like 70% off. And it's adorable. It's just the kind of game I needed lately. We're trying to find something that we can make that is considered cozy because my plants like cozy decor. But it doesn't look like I have enough stuff to make anything cozy. I was just peeking. Rustic. Ooh, my printer just finished. Yay. Yes. No. So we have no cozy decor. Oh, here we go. I could even sort. Cozy decor. Bam. Nothing. Okay. We will have to learn how to make something cozy then. So our other mission, we gotta bring the letter back to Patrice, our lovely postal bear ghosty. So yeah, it's got like some of the mechanics remind me of Animal Crossing, but it's definitely not the same like vibe as Animal Crossing. You find all these bears who are ghosts, and then you help them, and then they start to remember things, and then when they remember things, it brings color back into the world, and they give you things. It's so great. That's awesome. I have to figure out how to get Minecraft again. I haven't played it in a super long time. So I don't even remember how I got to it when I did. But I want to get there eventually. No, I don't, because I got your letter. I did get your letter. I saw it. Oh yeah, I didn't have room in my backpack for it. I forgot. That's why I was wandering around. Yeah. I was trying to get rid of stuff, and then I got distracted. Okay, so we gotta go make room in our backpack, because the letter that we're supposed to give him is right here. It's right here, but I can't pick it up because I don't have room in my backpack. Aww, that's so sweet. I try. We all need a little color in the world, right? Okay, so I can put stuff in storage. What am I gonna put? We're gonna put this in storage, and we don't know what to do with this right now, so we can put that in storage. And we don't know what to do with those letters yet, so we'll put those in storage. I don't know how to eat food yet, so we're gonna put that in storage. Okay, I think that's good. I hate the storage game. That's the worst part of games, is when you have to like always be like getting more storage. And I don't know how. And I don't know what to do with fish. And I don't know. Wooden shovel. I gotta keep that. Okay. Okay, cool. I got enough room, at least right now, to go get the letter. Oh, get the letter. There's a letter. What is that? That's bothering me, like, he just got a letter. That's not how it goes. How does the Blues Clues song go, like, when they get mail? Oh, before we leave, we gotta dig the butthole. Boop. Okay, we got potato. We got a potato. Now we gotta go get the letter to the mailman. We just got a letter, a letter, a letter. Here you go, here's your letter. I got it back from the imp. I bet that hungry imp was pleased you fed them. Did it give you anything else in return? Imp essence? Ah, you must have made them very happy if they dropped an essence. Hungry imps often drop essence in appreciation. It's handy for crafting food and other useful things. Well, I hope that was helpful. Talk to you later. I can't remember what voice I gave the mailman. Ooh, we got more spirit wood to feed our fire. Woohoo! Okay, so then when we help them, they remember things. And then it's more color. And then sometimes they give us money. But this time, they didn't give us no money. Just a log for the fire. But that's okay. That's how we expand the game and find more spirits, is by feeding our spirit fire. He's a hungry guy. I remember his voice. Here's a log for you. Goop.
Just one final log and I'll be full. I don't sense any more logs up there today. You should check back tomorrow.
Oh no, I gotta wait a whole day to get the last log. And I don't have any other story stuff to do. So like, does it mean like actual tomorrow? Or like, is there a way to go to bed in this game and make it tomorrow? That is a question. Let's go see. Here's our little bed. Our little tent. Let's see. Can I say I want to go sleep? Hello? Can I go sleep? Can I go sleep? No. It's not letting me. It's not letting me sleep here. How about this? Hello, sir. Upgrade my tent. Can I upgrade my tent? 12 additional storage slots for 5,000 old coins. It goes directly to the Scouting National Committee. I don't see a threat. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's what I thought, but it didn't let me sleep in a bed. No, I don't even have 5,000 coins anyways, so I can't spend them. Settings? No. This is my monies. This is my quest book. Oh, ask the fire. What do we do next? What do I do next, fire?
I don't sense any more logs out there today. You should check back tomorrow.
Wow, really? It's only my second day playing the game, but it seems silly that I'd be out of stuff already. I could fish. We can fish. Hold my fishing pole. Nope. I want to fish with my fishing pole. Pull it back and aim it. Okay, come get it, fishy. That's actually probably okay, because how long have I been streaming? Oh, just an hour. Collapsed lungfish. That does have fun. I earned a new badge. I'm a good little scout.
Where you go, you know I'll be there. If you go far, you know I'll be there. I'll go anywhere, so I'll see you there.
Thanks for playing that, Range. That's one of my favorite songs. That's the song that we played for Mr. Friendship and I at our wedding. I haven't figured out how to get this clam either. Like, it's here, and I thought maybe I could get it with a fishing pole, Maybe I didn't pull the fishing pole back far enough. Let's see. Hello? Clam? You want to eat my... You want to get caught in my fishing pole? I have a feeling that I need to get something else to be able to get the clam. I don't know yet. Oh, nope. We don't want to talk. Just ban people. Go away. Okay, so we gotta see. We can also see if like any of the little, these little impy guys, if they have a symbol over their head in a bubble, it means they're hungry. And we could throw food to them, and then they won't run away from me. But otherwise, they just run away. They get scared. Let's see. Maybe there's some up here that are hungries. No, none of these guys are hungry. And then the ghosty bears, they get an exclamation point when they need something. Let's see. No hungries. No exclamation points. Yeah, you don't need anything. These guys don't need anything. Wow. Maybe this is just all like, I might have to go online and look at this more. But it seems like there might be nothing else to do in this game right now. Maybe? I'm not sure. Here's another clam, but I still don't know how to get it. Oh, I can cut this thing down with my machete. Hi-ya! Hi-ya! Now I have lettuce. There's a kite up here. I wonder if I can get that kite down. Let's, go this way, and go this way, and then can I go up here? Can I shake the, nope, it's not colored in, I can't do anything, I can't touch it yet. Can't touch it because it's not colored in. Somebody's taking collections. Who does the collections? I think it might be this dude. This dude might take my collection. Hello, I found new things. Let me tell you about the new thing I found. Oh, would you like a hug? Oh, go give him a hug. You were the one with the collection. Was it the bird? Was it the bird on the island? No, I can't remember. Somebody here wants to keep track. Oh, yeah. It's Captain Bird. Captain Bird! Let's donate to the collection. What don't you have? Can I give you an apple? And a plum? And one of these things? And this? And this is a new fish? And this is a thing that you don't have? Let's try. Let's see. So many new specimens. Shall we add them to the collection? Yep, sure. Okay. And then we get presents. Or yeah, Cool. Okay. I think that's everything. Oh, and then we gave them some fish. Get a present for that fish and a present for that fish. And then we gave this flowers. Okay, cool. We got lots of stuff. No bye-bye. No cheap views. Bam hammer. Ciao. Oh, now I have 5,000. I have 5,000 points. Maybe I'll upgrade my tent then. Let's do that. We're gonna upgrade the tent, and then there's actually a raid train going on with some of the other firekeepers, which are the stream team that I'm on. So maybe we'll do a raid out over there. I gotta eat some supper anyway, so okay. Upgrade my tent. Sounds great. Here's my money. Let's see. Boom! That's a lovely new tent. Ooh, yay. What else do you have to tell me? Anything cool? Interior decorating. It's so empty. Fire sculpture is very special thing and more spacious. We gotta do the voice.
A spirit scout tent is a very special thing, more spacious than it might appear.
Okay. Let me in. You said let me in. You said to go in. I'm trying to go in. Oh! Here, now we're in the tent. Look at it. Let's put this guy in the corner. Hello. And then let's rotate it. There we go. I like that. Okay. Can I put a bed in here? Bed? I don't have a bed. I probably gotta make a bed. Okay. Interesting. Okay. We learned something new. Miss Sophia, we need a badge. Yep, tent pitcher beginner. At least we don't put ourselves in crazy debt to upgrade our tent. We just had to have the money first, as it should be. Yeah, okay, I think I'm good. Alright, so I need to pop over. We're gonna go to just chatting screen. Hi, it's just me. We're just chatting. Oh, and I'm not raising it. Okay, I can get rid of that. I still have a bunch of stuff from the fundraisers I did before. Okay, and we can remove that. Okay, so I'm gonna go over and look in Discord. That's where I can find out where the raid train is currently. It is Friday. It is 6 o'clock my time, which means they just should have raided into I Fight Mice. So let's pop over and see if they're live. Whoop. Should be fine.
Croaking corpses get.
Yes, they're live. So we can raid on over there and join the raid train. So let me find my raidy button. Thanks for stopping in, Rage. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll probably, hopefully see you online this weekend some more. I just gotta see if I have anything here. Okay. I fight mice. That's one. Start raid. I'll be back on Sunday, playing Elden Ring, and I'm gonna try to start streaming on Fridays more often, when I don't have to work, so I have extra energy to do so. So hopefully I'll see you around. Bye. Where's my ending scene? There it is.
Whole thing. So I'm thinking what we'll do for the first hour is we'll go into Old Yarnum. We'll see if we can smack the old one around a bit. Hey, Gremlin, hello. NG+4, that's amazing. Thank you, Nemo. I am a big lover of New Game Pluses. Dark Souls 2 was my first ever Souls game, and I fell in love with it straight away. Dark Souls 2 is my favorite. Everybody thinks I'm an idiot for it, but it introduced me to everything. I fell in love with the NPCs. Fell in love with the NPCs. Look, I mean, this is it. There's Lucatil. Lucatil right there. That's my baby girl from Dark Souls 2. I love her. But don't worry, guys. I've got a Bloodborne as well. I've got a Bloodborne there. Sandy's got the stake driver. Exactly just like my character does there. Just like my character does there. I picked the best ones, don't you worry. Dark Souls 2 is absolutely yeah, I love the quirkiness of it too. I love things that are bad. I love things that the general public look at and go, that's not right. I love bad movies. I love bad music. I love really bad things. So I get attracted towards Black Sheep. Hello, thank you so much for the raid, friendship players. How you doing? Good to see you, friendship, mate. Good to see you. How you doing today? Thank you so much for the raid. And for setting off that absolutely ridiculous raid alert again. Thank you so very much. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so very much for the raid. Let's go. Let's get on the raid train and spread this amazing, amazing love around, shall we, guys? But yes, so yeah, and Bloodborne. Another amazing thing about Bloodborne. Bloodborne introduced me to platinum trophies. Like I said, I started with Dark Souls 2 and then I did Dark Souls 1, but